Hail and mashes, welcome to the world of Baldur's Gate 3. It's me, the Spot King, and in today's video I will show you super cool build for Jaheira. I guess lore-wise she is more land druid, but when I look at her, she's definitely a Spore Druid.
As you wish.
So let me show you how I would build Jaheira. Considering you can get her pretty late in the game, you can respect your character and start with this build. But if you want to play this Spore Druid from early levels as different character, then first of all get to level 5 and then respect your character only at level 6. So we're starting as fighter instead of druid. Druid uses a lot of concentration spells, and to keep concentration you need constitution, and fighters get constitution saving throw proficiency. Additionally, you will get proficiency in heavy armor, shields, every weapon type. So what can we wish for our Spore Druid better? Okay, fighting style will be defense to get additional armor class. If you're planning to use this druid as spellcaster, I will explain everything, but I'm not using Spore Druid as complete spellcaster class. I like to inflict a lot of damage with him, so I'm going with 2 weapon fighting, especially for Jaheira. Then our abilities. Main spellcasting ability is Wisdom. To keep our concentration we need Constitution, and to keep our armor class as high as possible we should need Dexterity, but yeah, we got proficiency in heavy armor, so we can totally dump Dexterity and just get more strength to inflict more damage with our melee attacks. Considering we kind of fighter, you can decide what stat is more important to you. Is it Constitution or Wisdom? But I would just get +1 to Strength and dump every other stat. So 17 into Strength, 16 Constitution, 15 Wisdom. And now leveling. We're switching back to Druid and starting with cantrips. For this type of Druid I would go with Thorn Whip to pull enemies to you. You can use Produce Flame or Poison Spray. You will get access to all spells at all time. You don't need to learn them when leveling up. So I will explain what spells to choose for Jaheira when we finish leveling up. On 3rd level you can pick your subclass, it will be Circle of Spores Druid, and while you still will be able to use Wild Shape to transform in different animals, most of the time you won't use it, because you will get this symbiotic entity. You will gain additional hit points, and while you get these hit points, you deal an additional 1d6 necrotic damage. And you will cast Hail of Spores with double damage. Hail of Spores is your reaction spell that deals 1d4 damage now, but will do a lot more later. And using reaction as your attack is really cool and powerful stuff. Not a lot of classes can do so. So to keep things simple, basically you're leveling Druid until level 12. But on level 5 you get an additional cantrip, you can finally pick whatever you don't have, and if you're not playing with Cleric in a party, pick Guidance of course. I hope you got Cleric in a party, so go with Produce Flame. Shillelagh is a really nice ability, but we're not using Collapse as Jaheira, so forget about it. Our first feat of choice will be Dual Wielder, in case you want to use some fancy weapons in both hands. But when you're starting to play as Jaheira, she comes with 2 Scimitars. Scimitars is nice two-handed weapons that can be wielded in both hands. So for Jaheira I would go with ability improvement and just get more wisdom and more strength. Level 6 nothing to choose, same for level 7, on our level 8 with level 7 druid, new spells but nothing to choose again, level 9 additional feat, and again we can go for ability improvement and just get more strength. That's definitely not your typical druid. And then basically you can finish leveling. So, as you can see we will have a large variety of spells, but mostly you will need only these ones. Main idea of this build comes from gear. Jaheira comes with 2 Scimitars, and they are already doing really nice damage by being basic Scimitars +1, thanks to our Jewelry combination. So it's Bloodmother Revenge. When you get healed, your weapon's coated in poison. Caustic Band, 2 additional acid damage each hit. And Strange Conduit Ring, when you're concentrating on spell, and druids concentrating on a lot of spells, you will do additional 1d4 psychic damage with each hit. You can have any helmet you like. From the start of Act 3 you can get Horns of Berserker to do additional necrotic damage, and by the end of Act 3, or if you know you can get it even earlier, you will equip Helm of Balduran. That will add +1 to your AC and will heal you by 2 hit points each turn. Cloak slot can be any cloak you will like. It could be defensive cloaks or just Vivacious Cloak. You will gain 8 temporary hit points after casting spell while in melee. You got a lot of spells, you got melee weapons that you will use, so casting spells in melee is like basic idea. Because we got Fighter from level 1, we can use Dwarven Splint Mail that will give us +2 to Constitution, furthermore increasing our chances to succeed concentration saving throws. And basically it's really nice heavy armor. Or you can pick any good heavy armor you will find. In the end game it will be maybe Reaper's Embrace that will just reduce all incoming damage by 2, so pretty nice armor too. But honestly you can even go to the super late game in Dwarven Splint Mail, very powerful armor. And Vital Conduit Boots. When you're casting concentration spells, you're gaining temporary hit points. So we got a lot of stuff that can give us temporary hit points. When we're casting spells while in melee, when we're casting concentration spells, and both of this cloak and boots stacks. And that's very good because we got Symbiotic Entity. When we cast it, we get 44 temporary hit points. And while we get these hit points, while they're not depleted, we do an additional damage with Halo of Spores. It uses reaction to do this necrotic damage. And if it's impossible to reach target, we can use Spreading Spores as bonus action to do damage in large radius, and it won't affect your allies, so that's a nice spell to have. And if you lose some hit points, for example, right now I got only 40, you just come in melee range, cast concentration spell, and that's it, you regain your hit points. So it's really easy to keep Symbiotic Entity with this playstyle. So what spells do we have here, how to use them? Basically, start of the day, you want to activate your summons, and we got level 4 spells, Woodland Pink, we create Heroes, and we create in Minor Elemental, level 4 spell slot. My favorite is Aether, he is Fire Elemental, but in case you don't need Fire Elemental, you can use Ice Method or Mud Method. They're pretty strong too, and got nice debuffs for your enemies. And our third summon will be Conjure Elemental from level 5. Actually, it will depend on your choice. If you got Cleric in your party that can cast Hero's Feast, or you just don't need additional hit points for your party, then definitely you can use Conjure Elemental upcasted to level 6. It will create Myrmidon, he is far more superior elemental, very powerful one. There's 4 of them, different damage types. And also if you don't need radiant damage from Sunbeam, for example. Most of the time you don't need it, so we can definitely skip on Sunbeam and create cool elemental. My favorite one is Water Elemental, and actually he's doing a lot of ice damage, so it can make targets prone, it can make shield them, so it will be easier for us to hit them, so that's a nice idea. For Dryad, she got nice ability, Fallen Lover, so it's additional summon. And basically as Dryad in a fight you want to cast Shillelagh with bonus action, it will make your attacks a lot stronger, your attacks can make targets entangled, it will be easier to hit them, again very powerful stuff, and attacks is really powerful. And with action you will attack or use Spike Growth, it will create really hard to move territory, so that's really powerful zoning tool. Just cast it on enemies, they will have hard time to go from the spikes. This wooden tree got 2 entangle spells, and he doing pretty nice damage too. As for Aether, his playstyle is really simple. You can use 1 Searing Smite per battle, 1 Weakening Strike per short rest, 1 Concussive Smash per short rest, and 1 Backbreaker. So basically always try to use Searing Smite, maybe if you need to use Weakening Strikes, Concussive Smashes, or just attack normally. Don't forget to use your bonus action to overheat and do damage in radius around you, but don't forget it will damage your teammates at the same time, so be careful. As for Myrmidon and for Elemental, it's easy, they all have something like Teleport or Fly spell, so with Elementals you got only Teleport, most of the time you will use just Teleport to go to your target with bonus action and then use one of the spells. Most of the time you will do additional damage with different attacks when targets already inflicted some conditions, so just look for condition spells like Hamel Strike, can chill opponents. This one is really powerful too, but for full guide on Myrmidons and other stuff, watch my Moon Druid guide with all summons and other stuff. Now let's get back to Jaheira. So we lost some spell slots on summons. What we have left? When enemy die, we can use fungal infestation as a reaction to create zombies. If we don't need zombies or we don't want to have zombies, we always use reaction to use Hail of Spores, and make sure to keep symbiotic entity going on you at all time. And here, to make Jaheira really broken, Poisoner's Ring. It's a very nice ring, you can keep it on Jaheira instead of Caustic Band, or actually I suggest keeping this ring on any other character to cast it with their action, just in case. And our main magic comes from Poisoner's Gloves. Whenever you deal poison damage, target needs to succeed Constitution saving throw or become poisoned. And as you can see, we're dealing a lot of poison damage with Broadmother's Revenge. So just for notice, this build will work with any good weapons in two hands. So any like short sword, dagger will work, that you can equip by dual wielding them, and you will do nice damage. But most power will come from some sneaky and cheesy items you can get. You can get them right now at the time I'm recording video, but possibly it will be patched out. So keep in mind, it will work, but you need to test if you can get these awesome weapons. So to get cool weapons, you need to defeat 2 genies. There will be no problem with our awesome and powerful Moon Druid. Especially if you got this poison ring on someone and just cast poison on these genies. Our Myrmidon is not weaker than genies. And other summons is powerful too. So basic gameplay will be really simple. If you got enough of bonus hit points, just go and attack with your weapons. But in case you're lowered on hit points, you can go in melee range and cast some concentration spells. It will be Spike Growth. You already know the spell. Call Lightning, very powerful stuff, one of my favorite. It's concentration spell, you're doing lightning damage, you can upcast it for more damage, and coolest part, you can cast it every turn for 10 turns. Cloud Kill, kinda same spell but requires level 5 spell slot. Cool part is that it's doing poison damage, and don't forget, whenever we're doing poison damage, targets need to make saving throw or become poisoned. If you need radiant damage, you can go for Moonbeam. It's a little bit less radius, but nice just to do damage to targets that you can't get to. Our movement speed is not like biggest one of all classes, so sometimes we just can't go into range. If you don't want to use attack or spell on the target, make sure to just use Hail of Spores. Target can succeed and negotiate this damage, but still it uses only your reaction and can kill low HP targets. Genie is powerful, he succeeds on a saving throw, so now it's kinda our choice what we want to do. Because we are in range of this genie, we can do attacks. Or we can finish this genie with, for example, Call Lightning to concentrate on this stuff and replenish our health points. Just look, he died and our health is replenished. Oh yeah, he's immune to lightning. Yeah, happens. So with bonus action, you can do normal weapon attack. Again, it's really nice and large amount of damage. You can place Spreading Spores on your first turn in a battle. It's very nice stuff too. It will damage your enemies and won't damage your allies and yourself. Helping Hand to your teammates. You can use bonus action to use Healing Word. You still Druid, you can be supportive a little bit. Just make sure when you end in your turn, your dual wielding is turned on. This way you will always make 2 attacks when provoking opportunity attack from enemies. And that's the coolest part about this Druid build. You can be as supportive as damaging class. Other honorable mentions for spells that I like to use is Hold Person in case you're facing humanoids to inflict a large amount of damage. Hit Metal. You can cast it on targets that got metal armor and weapons, and they will probably drop these weapons or will be inflicted with 2d8 damage each turn. And Thunder Wave. In case you're using something like Spike Growth or maybe Cloud Kill, so basically area of effect spells that doing large amount of damage and enemies run away from this area of effect, you can cast Thunder Wave to push them back to these areas. As you can see, keeping concentration is really easy. That's because we got first level in Fighter, and we got almost +10 to our saving throws. From Genius you can get these pretty normal looking scimitars, but these scimitars will inflict additional 2d10 poison damage on hit, in addition to our already pretty large damage numbers. So start of the day, cast Symbiotic Entity, summon your summons, upcast Long Strider on everyone, and you're ready to go. And if you manage to use Virulent Venom on any target, and by the way, you can use it on 3 targets in 1 turn, or a single target 3 times. This will double your poison damage, so we can do 50 damage with 1 hit easily, and it will be raised to something like 75. That's really crazy, Spore Druid. Damage numbers is insane. Poison, vulnerability, done. And now look at the damage of our swords. Oh my goodness. One attack just did almost 100 damage. So you basically can almost one-shot enemies with 2 attacks. And enemies will have large problems to resist your Cloud Kill spell. Because Cloud Kill doing poison damage, and when you inflicting poison damage, enemies will probably be poisoned. So Cloud Kill, one of the stuff that you can cast, recast, and do really large amount of damage with this build. Still, it's also nice just to use something like Spike Growth to make difficult terrain for your enemies, separate them one from another, and then just destroy them separately. Also make sure to check immunities and resistances of enemies. Just go to examine and see if enemy got lightning vulnerability, attack with lightning. You're not forced to do only poison damage. You can do cold lightning, for example, or if you're not using high level elementals, you can use stuff like Sunbeam. It's level 6 spell that can blind all enemies in a sight, do large amount of damage, and you can recast it every turn again. So really powerful stuff. And never underestimate Hit Metal spell. You just cast it on any enemy you see and ignore them. They will kill themselves by using their weapons. I think that's really crazy. Powerful and fun build to play, while being semi-supportive, zone controlling, and really high damaging druid. Biggest problem is to hit your attacks most of the time. But if you hit really hard. I hope you enjoy this Jaheira build, and if you want to know how to get this awesome genius scimitar, watch video on the screen right now with this and more secret weapons that you can find in Baldur's Gate 3. See you in the next videos, guys.